So I woke up this morning to some bad news from my girlfriend. That's usually how it goes, actually. Usually it's I wake up in the morning and whatever's going on, my girlfriend's already told me because I wake up at like 3 p.m. and Lonnie has been up for hours and already knows what's going on. But the Surf's second channel, the Surf Times, was banned from YouTube. And this video is not going to be some kind of like, oh yeah, it's fucking censorship, blah, 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 like what you'd expect from a conservative. That's not what this is. This is clearly isn't some kind of censorship thing or like a YouTube personal attack on lefty creators or anything like that. This was quite obviously just a mistake. But I do think we need to talk about it because this is mostly focused on the spontaneity and the how scary it is to be an online content creator, especially on a platform as well, crazy as YouTube, right? So here's the original thread. Hey, at YouTube and at YouTube creators, without any strikes or warnings, you just deleted our entire YouTube channel. And apparently, it was for an old video about how Paul Joseph Watson is obsessed with eggs and targeted shoe on head. Harassment for a video calling out harassment? This has happened to me as well. I hope that I can get this taken care of, but I've had the same exact thing happen. I got falsely striked back in 2019 for a video on Geeks and Gamers and his obsession with Brie Larson, and it got striked for hate speech. This was on July 7th, 2019. I appealed it back in August 2020, and it got rejected. I've had this repeal rejected 3 times. It gets rejected every single time. Nothing I did in that video was hate speech. I've since deleted the video to see if that would help. You literally can't get rid of a warning. This means I've lost my warning. I have nothing but 3 strikes left. If I get another strike, that's a ban from streaming and uploading for a week. Next one, I believe it's a month, and then the third one, my channel's gone forever. No way of getting it back. And it was completely false. Like, nothing I did, you guys know me, nothing I did in my video was hate speech whatsoever. It was old, I don't remember much of it, but I'm pretty confident that I didn't do anything that was hate speech in that video. And the reason for this is because YouTube judges these things with a robot. There's not an actual person who watched my video and decided, yep, nope, this is hate speech. We're rejecting the repeal. And there was no person that watched the video and decided that it was hate speech in the first place. It was a robot. I don't know what words I said in the video or anything like that that made the fucking algorithm think that I was saying hate speech. I've had the same thing happen to me. And now, and by the way, this doesn't go away, I permanently lost my warning. Permanently lost my warning. It's really fucked up. So, with that said, the exact same thing happened here. TheSerfs is making a video dunking on Paul Joseph Watson for obsessing over shoe on head, which arguably was harassment on the side of PJW, and YouTube striked it, gave them a warning, and then on top of that, even though it was their first warning, the channel got deleted. Just not even their first strike, their first warning, YouTube falsely deleted the whole channel. This isn't like like agenda-driven like censorship or anything like that. This was just some bullshit glitch happened behind the scenes at YouTube that fucked them over. It's wild. So the funny thing too, even PJW, even Paul Joseph Watson, who was the person that they were shitting on in the video, came along to say, not harassment on any level, channel should be restored immediately. Now, thankfully, I can say it has. The Surf Times is back up, as well as their main channel. Very nice. But, like, the only reason this got any attention and this was taken care of is because they had 11,000 likes on their tweet. 11,000 likes. I probably, maybe if I drummed up enough of a fuss, I could get that on my channel, but I want you to imagine how many small channels who haven't done anything wrong got fucking destroyed by some bullshit going on with the YouTube algorithm behind the scenes, but just don't have the supporter base or anything like that to get YouTube's attention to fix it. It's insane. What are you to do about this if you're a smaller channel? Or if you just don't have the outside of YouTube online presence to get it taken care of. Or if YouTube just decides that they just doesn't notice, even if you do have enough people signal boosting it. This is terrifying. This is something that as a political content creator especially, even though I'm on the left, I'm constantly terrified of this shit happening. It's horrifying. It's scary. When your entire livelihood is based on this website, and then you get falsely taken down. Now, there's a big difference between, like, okay, you did something wrong, you got a strike, right? Like, if TheSerfs was actually, like, targeting Paul Joseph Watson with harassment, saying, hey guys, go to Twitter and spam Paul Joseph Watson, I want to gargle your eggs, like at him on Twitter. Obviously, then I would be like, okay, yeah, you did kind of incite people to harass PJW, right? Is it funny? Sure, but it's not harassment. In this case, this is just a false claim. It's false, and there was a glitch behind the scenes. Even if this claim was 100% valid, they still destroyed their channel temporarily, thankfully, because it managed to get enough attention, with one strike. What happened behind the scenes? Who hit the wrong button? What glitch happened in the algorithm or their system that made the first warning on their channel delete their channel? It's terrifying. It's terrifying. It's very, very scary. And that's something that I kind of want to talk about right now. I think it's actually pretty important.
They're back again.
Sorry about that. I think it's like really scary. The fact that you can literally just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna cover this video, and then YouTube just falsely hits you with a fucking strike because they use an algorithm to do it. And then even then, a glitch can happen behind the scenes, and they just fucking ban your channel. Do you know what would happen to me if my channel got banned tomorrow? I don't think I would be able to get enough pull on Twitter to get it fixed. My presence may be larger than TheSerfs, but I really don't feel like I have enough pull on social media to get it reinstated. I really don't feel like I'd be able to. I've tried to get my my warning taken away because it was a false warning, and it hasn't happened. I've repealed it multiple times. They still keep saying it's hate speech, even though I can guarantee nothing there was hate speech. It's terrifying. Imagine that you can go out one day and your car can just blow the fuck up for no reason either. Like, it's not like, oh, your car has like a fault in it or something. Someone fucking car bombed you or something. There's just a chance that your car could just explode one day. Just blow up. Kill you. You know, it'll kill you. You're done. You'll just die. That's what it feels like every time I stream or upload a video, unironically. That's always a fear that I have, because when everything behind the scenes with YouTube is run by robots, if I sarcastically say, ho, women bad or something, the YouTube bots may verify that or view that as hate speech, unironically. Like, if I make a joke about something because, you know, robots and algorithms aren't all that great at discerning sarcasm. And at least what it seems like, it looks like the bots or like the repeals aren't even handled by people. I've repealed 3 times and still not gotten my stuff back. I swear to God, there's not actual people behind the scenes dealing with these things. It can't be. I refuse to believe that an actual person watched my video, read my repeal, and was like, nah, that was hate speech. This guy's like a reactionary or something. Like, what are you talking about, dude? I can just imagine conservatives would watch this and be like, heh, now you know how we feel. And no, that's not the case, all right? Nothing I said in my video was in any way hate speech. It was literally me shitting on those spreading hate speech and being reactionary. It was absolutely a glitch or some kind of fuck up behind the scenes on YouTube. It wasn't a conscious decision that they made to fuck with my channel or anything like that. It was a mistake on their part. And I really, really hope something's done about it. And I hope just in general, for the sake of every online content creator, that these problems are just fixed broadly. Like, so many people, there's a certain level of accountability I think these companies should be forced to have. Unironically. I really do feel like the government or something like that needs to implement some kind of program to help out companies that act as platforms for other people to do their jobs, something like YouTube, to allow them to moderate their platforms in a more personal way. I really do feel like that should be the case, because you have to understand, I would venture to say millions of people probably make their living on YouTube. YouTube is probably like there's a ton of people whose jobs and their livelihoods depend on YouTube, and it's just robots making the decision as to whether or not you're essentially fired or not. Like, imagine if it was a robot. If your boss is a robot to decide whether or not you got fired, and it was based entirely on just like a text of what you say, with no consideration for context or tone or whatever, right? Like, you make some jokes with your friends at work that are very obviously sarcastic, and you just get yeeted because your boss is a robot that doesn't understand it. Can you imagine how terrifying that is? There needs to be some kind of program at YouTube. I don't care if it's funded by the government or whatever. I feel like the government might want to do this. I don't know. That provides YouTube with the resources they need to actually moderate their platform with people and not an algorithm that makes mistakes like it did here. If TheSerfs was like, I would say 10,000 subs smaller, that channel would be gone permanently. There would be no bringing it back. It's over. It would be completely fucking over for them. They're just lucky that they had as many supporters as they did. What is this? A rifle body? I need one of those. I can't scrap that. Actually, I will. I'll find another one. Literally in 1984. I'm not talking about censorship or anything here. That's not what this discussion is about whatsoever. Bans, like, if YouTube, if you break YouTube's TOS and you get banned, you probably deserved it, if I'm being honest. YouTube's TOS are not that hard to follow, okay? If you broke YouTube's TOS and someone reviewed it and was like, yep, that's breaking TOS, you did a racism, or you did a whatever we said you did that's against the rules, that you sign up for it, fine. Absolutely fine. I'm completely okay with that. My problem is when people who didn't do those things end up getting banned. That's where I have my issue. And that's what's actually happening. This is a thing that's actually happening. It's a big deal. The same goes for the copyright system, even though that's like way more complicated. The YouTube copyright system is really weird, but at the same time, copyright law is really weird. And there's actually a really good Tom Scott video about this and why the YouTube copyright system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it needs to. There are many things that need to be done on the corporate side as well as the legal side in our government to acknowledge this whole new broad sort of swath of content creators and jobs. For real. We need to figure out what's going on there. YouTube and online content creation is getting to be a way bigger job market. I think in the next 10 years, we're going to see online content creation blow up. I think online content creation might become one of the biggest job makers. YouTube might be one of the biggest job makers in the world within the next decade. You guys realize that, right? Within the next decade, YouTube might be the largest job creator in the world. Can you imagine that? And can you imagine a company like YouTube being the largest job creator in the world, not necessarily for employees, but for people making content on the platforms? Can you imagine how badly, if it was still as badly ran as it is now when it comes to like the livelihood of its creators? You need to offer some level of assurance to your creators on this platform, YouTube, that they are going to be safe. Now, if I was talking to Twitch right now, I would be 100% sure that they would not hear a word I said and give a fuck about it. But at least with YouTube, it does seem like the CEO, Susan Wojcicki, actually does kind of give a fuck. It does seem like Susan Wojcicki is interested in making the platform better. There's just like, even above her being the CEO of YouTube, there's a lot of people even above her that make the decisions as to what's done and where resources are allocated to. So I at least feel like if I talk about this and it gets enough views, maybe my voice will be heard, you know? I don't know. I feel like this is really, really important. Ever since Google took over, YouTube has been rough. Guys, these issues have actually been happening since before Google took over, though I will admit, you have to understand that it's not fair to blame everything on Google. You guys do know Google isn't making back the amount of money they invested into YouTube, right? YouTube is at least from the revenue generated from YouTube itself and ad revenue and YouTube Red purchases is a net loss in terms of their revenue. You guys know that, right? YouTube is losing money from, Google is losing money from YouTube. The thing that they're gaining, though marketing is very, complicated, they're actually gaining notoriety and publicity due to YouTube's existence. It being one of the most used platforms on the internet is beneficial to them in ways beyond just money, like solid revenue. So that's important to keep in mind. But yeah, like it's really fucking crazy how sporadic YouTube can be with this kind of stuff when it employs so many people. Yeah, we want to go to this one, I think, is the store I want to go to. Yes. So I can sell metal frags here, right? I can sell metal frags, right? Hey chat, you can I swear you can sell metal frags. I'll figure this out in a second. But like, yeah, as I was saying though, it's wild. It really is wild how wait, first sale cost. Oh yeah, you can. Hold on, how many can I? Oh yeah, I can buy a bunch of scrap. Yeah, it's just really crazy to me how sporadic it is, and the fact that so many people make their living off of these platforms, and yet it's managed so poorly. I really do think this is going to bite YouTube in the ass. I can't see a universe in which this isn't going to bite YouTube in the ass hard. Like, really, really hard. There's no universe where this doesn't fuck over YouTube very badly. I'm telling you right now. No universe where this doesn't fuck over YouTube really badly in the end. YouTube has a responsibility with their platform to the people who use their platform to make content to manage it better. And that's basically all. I'm glad TheSerfs is able to get his stuff back. This won't be the first or the last time that a large Breadtuber ends up getting falsely claimed, because unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm doesn't seem to have the ability to responsibly deem coverage of TOS content in terms of criticism. Like, when YouTube can't tell the difference most of the time, or at least a non-zero amount of the time, between criticizing racism and going after racists and just doing racism. It genuinely feels like YouTube's algorithm and their bots don't know the difference. So I really hope YouTube does something about this, because it's going to be a big problem, especially as the platform gets bigger and as political content gets more prevalent online. Because obviously we're seeing the death of print media, the death of televised media, especially when it comes to the news. And YouTube's going to be a place where a lot of people are making news content. And I don't want to see YouTube suffer, or its creators suffer, especially because of how things are run. And I understand there's a lot of people that upload content to YouTube all the time, but I'm sure there's something better than what's being done now that can be done. It's just, I don't know. Being a content creator, I'm constantly terrified that something like what happened to TheSerfs is going to happen to me, and I won't have any recourse to fix it. What about BitChute? That's the problem, though, too, because if you end up falsely getting banned from YouTube and you don't have the platform to have this false ban repealed properly, then you're done. YouTube will strike down any new accounts that you make. So and there's no other platforms with the reach of YouTube that allow you to make a living besides maybe Twitch. This is one thing that I actually like about Twitch, is at the very least Twitch seems to have actual people behind the scenes for the most part. So... okay. So at least in that case, it does seem like actual people are making the decisions there. Facebook gaming, yeah, maybe, but even then, Facebook has like a fraction of the streaming and content creation audience that YouTube does. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, ring the bell icon as well so you actually get notified whenever I go live or upload a video, or you're cringe. And yeah, there's also a link to follow me on Twitter, the link in the description, as well as a link to join the fan Discord, which you should definitely do. My fan Discord's popping off. Very cool community. So definitely join that. And yeah, if you've got any extra money you don't need for anything else and you don't know what to do with it, you can always support me financially by donating on YouTube through Super Chat, hitting the join button to become a channel member, or if you're super fucking based, coming to the website, xanderhall.com/live, and donating or subscribing here, or just gifting a sub. Help someone else out and give them a sub. That's always nice. People love having colored names. Help with the white name genocide in my website chat. If you're curious, the website chat's the one on the side of the screen right now. It's the only one that I really, really read, and the only one that that the viewers really see after the fact, because it's the only chat I have on screen. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.